What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another late night in the BrewLab with me, Lone Fox, your brew master in chief. And tonight in the BrewLab, we did it, ladies and gentlemen. We did it. We've not only we've breached the 500 subscriber mark, as you can see on my right. And yeah, that means the giveaway is going to be triggered. And what I need you all to do to take part in the giveaway is to leave a comment in the video down below. You can say anything you like, constructive criticism, deck ideas, you name it. As long as it's a comment, then I can put it through the randomizer and I will pick 3 lucky winners, and you will be going home with some Kamigawa booster packs. So if you want to take part, please leave a comment down below. But that is it as far as news and announcements. We finally broke the 500 subs, and as a sort of celebratory occasion, I thought it would be a good idea to whip out a bit of jank. So without further ado, let's jump into tonight's brew. And it's one I'm calling the Cosmic Hellkite. I've spent a bit of hours working on this one. I'm quite proud of it. I hope you like it. So let's take it from the top. We've got 3 copies of March of Wretched Sorrow. This is one of the cycle. There's one in every color, March of something. We're running the red one and the black one in this deck. I've been on a little bit of an Rakdos bent of late. I hope you guys will bear with me through it. But March of Wretched Sorrow is a way of dealing X damage to target creature or planeswalker, and you gain X life. The cool thing about these March cards is that you can exile cards from your hand in their respective colors to reduce the cost of X after you've declared how much X is going to be, which is great. Sometimes you don't have all the mana that you need to do the full X, and you can exile cards from your hands to get there. And the life gain is fantastic. Hits planeswalkers, scales up, instant speed. Absolutely loving March of Wretched Sorrow. Next up, we've got March of Reckless Joy. And I've noticed they put this word reckless in a lot of the cards that have this type of effect, where you exile cards from the top of your library and you can cast them until the end of your next turn. So also instant speed can be done at the opponent's end step or whatever. Can also exile red cards from your hand to reduce the casting cost. You can pick 2 of those cards. So you can look at however many you like as you have X, but you can only pick 2 of them and you can cast those until your end of your next turn. So nice little bit of card advantage, getting to test out another one of these new cards from Kamigawa. Then we've got Valki / Tybalt. 3 copies. And this is actually a very important card in the deck, and we're really looking to cast Tybalt. We do sometimes use the front side. You know, maybe we have 2 in hand in the early game, and we want to get some information about the opponent's hand. Of course, Valki reveals the opponent's hand. Sometimes we snag a nice creature, and we can transform Valki into that creature and get some value that way. But most of the time, we're trying to get to 7 mana, so we can cast Tybalt, the Cosmic Imposter, which is an incredibly good planeswalker, and one that I have not played with enough on the channel, and something I would like to remedy. It can exile the top card of each player's library for +2, which is great. Any planeswalker with +2, and it comes in with 5 loyalties, so you can get to that -8 pretty quickly. And of course it dodges Vanishing Verse, which is great, and it's an exile effect for target artifact or creature. So the fact that it hits artifacts is pretty relevant finally, because it was kind of a bit of a like, what's the point? But now in this format, there's lots of artifacts, so pretty nice that it can do that. And then eventually -8 and you exile all graveyards. And then because of the emblem that you get as soon as he enters the battlefield, that means that you can play all of the exiled cards and you can cast them, mana as if, mana was of any color, and you also get an additional 3 red to do so when you do the -8. So just fantastic. Hopefully we can get it off during tonight's gameplay footage. But next up, we've got 3 copies of Abrade, and I like it in this brew for the versatility. This, of course, again, I'll mention it again, plenty of artifacts, so we can destroy those, but it's also a nice little bit of instant speed, 3 damage, boom, target creature. Then we've got a full playset of the Reckoner Bankbuster, and yeah, if you haven't crafted these already, you might as well hurry up and do so. They're going to be all over the place. It's just that good. It's a 2-mana 4/4 that crews itself, draws you cards, and ramps, all in a 2-mana package. Fantastic. So alongside March of Reckless Joy, we're drawing some cards as well with the Reckoner Bankbuster. Then we've got a full playset of the Meathook Massacre as our sweeper of choice. Don't really need to say much more about that. We've all seen this card. But there's another new card which is facilitated by the Reckoner Bankbuster and the Meathook Massacre. It's one of these cards from Kamigawa that says if you control an artifact and an enchantment, you can yada yada yada. In this case, we can choose both of these options. Either exile target creature or planeswalker, or return target creature or planeswalker card from your graveyard to your hand. If we have Bankbuster and the Meathook Massacre in play, we can do both. This is cool because we do have a planeswalker in the deck, but because he ends up in the graveyard as Valki, the front side, we cannot use any of the typical ways that we have of bringing him back. First of all, Tibalt costs too much mana for Blood on the Snow, so that wouldn't work anyway, even if it was able to fetch it back on its backside. The lesson card in the that people sometimes use, Confront the Past, won't work for that very reason. So it's nice to have a way to get a creature back from the graveyard to your hand, and we have Soul Transfer that can do that, as well as 3 copies of Takenuma, the new legendary land in the mana base, that can bring back Valki to our hand, which is also nice if we've initially cast it on its front side and then we finally get to the mana for its backside. We haven't drawn another copy. We can fetch it back from the graveyard, recast it on its backside this time. So pretty nice. Soul Transfer, getting to test out a new card, and actually having the ability to get the full value out of it within the deck. Then we've got a full playset of Igneous Inspiration, which is nice because it goes face if you want. Sometimes it can end a game. You just 3 damage to the opponent, but it's also got Learn. And it's the only Learn card we have in the deck, which gives us access to a lovely little lesson board. And as you can see, I've gone for like a fully colorless lesson board. The reason for that, I'll explain quickly. The good lessons that are in the colors that we're playing are Necrotic Fumes, Confront the Past, Start from Scratch to a certain extent. No one really ever plays Illuminate History, but Necrotic Fumes, we don't have any sacrificial fodder, so it's rendered useless. Confront the Past, we don't have any planeswalkers, useless. Start from Scratch, it's really only ever in here to destroy target artifacts. We've already got 3 copies of Abrade in the main, so that's why I've gone for the full colorless lesson board here. We've got 2 Mascot Exhibitions as a win con in and of itself, 2 copies of Introduction to Annihilation, because we're playing black and red. We don't have any way of getting rid of enchantments, and there's a lot of Selesnya enchantments. It's about a quarter of the meta, in Platinum and Diamond, so I did need some way of getting rid of that Hallowed Haunting. So here we go, a couple copies of Introduction to Annihilation. Then we've got some card draw, some ramp, and a little bit of life gain. Next up, we've got 1 copy of Hidetsugu Consumes All. It's a bit of a meme. It's another win con. It's kind of a rubbish card. At some point I had 3 of them in the deck and I've been playtesting with it. What inevitably happens, like, okay, chapter 1 and chapter 2 are not terrible effects. They just don't always do much when you cast it, because I mean, the best time that you'll ever have on chapter 1 is if, like, the opponent has built up a bunch of treasure tokens or a bunch of blood tokens or a bunch of tokens of any kind, for that matter. As long as they don't have indestructible, they will get destroyed by Hidetsugu's first chapter. Then it exiles all graveyards. That can be pretty important in some matches, but it's very hit and miss. But then it eventually flips into the Vessel of All-Consuming, and what inevitably happens is the opponent has like 2 turns to prepare for this. It flips, it doesn't even have haste, and the opponent just removes it. Infernal Grasp, boop, you don't even get to attack with the thing. So I don't know. I'm sure there'll be some meme lord out there who'll find a way to protect it, and then as soon as it hits the board, there'll be another card that already gives it haste, and then they pump the thing huge on, and they swing in and manage to get the win con off in one turn, OTK style. But that's not the brew for it, or this is not the brew for it. But you never know. There are those situations. I have come across it where, let's say against mono white, you've controlled the board, you've destroyed everything, you've finally managed to stabilize, and they're in top deck mode. They're just top decking, and then you cast Hidetsugu, and then the chances that they'll have the removal from that top deck is much slimmer than them having it in a handful of cards. And then maybe he can stay on the board for a few turns, and every time he gets in for damage, he gets a +1/+1 counter, and eventually if he gets in for 10 damage, you win the game. Another little win con, snuck in a copy. Let's see how it performs. Then we've got the Manaform Hellkite, and this is a kind of key card in the deck, as you can see from the name and the deck box art. Everything in the deck triggers the Manaform Hellkite. And there's 3 cards in the deck that have X in the casting cost, which means you can dump, because the Manaform Hellkite is worded that it is, the dragon it creates is where X is the number of, or the amount of mana spent to cast it. You could dump 10 mana into your March of Wretched Sorrow. Not only would you be gaining 10 life, definitely getting rid of a threat, potentially a flying blocker, and you would make a 10/10 Dragon Illusion plus the Hellkite itself swing in for 14. Something like that would be pretty amazing. But we've also got the Meathook Massacre. Of course, you can't go X more than 4, otherwise you kill the Hellkite itself. But if you go X is 3, that's still 5 mana spent. You make a 5/5. Everything triggers Manaform Hellkite except for Valki. Of course, the backside, Tibalt, is one of the real nice synergies in the deck. Is you cast Tibalt while you have the Hellkite in play. It makes a 7/7 because the Planeswalker is a non-creature spell. It costs 7 mana. Pretty nice. So yeah, Manaform Hellkite, fantastic. Everything in the deck triggers it, and you'll be making lots of these little dragons and swinging in the air. We've also got, as if March of Reckless Joy and the Reckoner Bankbuster were not enough to get some card advantage, we've also got a couple copies of Unexpected Windfall, discarding your worst card, drawing 2 new ones, making 2 treasure tokens, instant speed. Mwah, lovely card. And that brings us to the top end, where I've gone for 2 copies of each of the invokes, sort of testing out the red one. Haven't played it much. We have seen the black one in the Junji deck that I put up a few days ago. Such a sweet card. It's never bad. At any time you cast it, it's always going to be good, because if the opponent has nothing on board, they lose 6 life, you draw 3 cards. If the opponent has a Planeswalker, an enchantment, and a creature on board, they lose all of it. Or any combination of those, because you could have just one of the things and you draw 2 cards. You see where I'm going. This card's ridiculously good, and the red one is also pretty good. The only bad thing is it gives you free spells to cast, okay? But free spells don't trigger the Hellkite because you're not spending any mana to cast them. But that effectively means that we can access our lesson board 8 times, because we could be bringing back our Igneous Inspirations, multiple times, and what have you. And of course, it is also a nice 5 mana spell, which will make a 5/5 Dragon Illusion. So I can see, making a 5/5, bringing back 2 Igneous Inspirations, going face for 6 and swinging in for 9. That sort of stuff is pretty nice. And it's instant speed, this one, so you can also do some shenanigans defensively, which would spawn Dragon Illusions during the opponent's turn and have them as blockers and bring back some Abrades or whatever you need. It's just really, really sweet card that I'm still kind of learning the ropes on. And that's the brew. That wraps up the brew. We've got a really nice harmonious mana base, 1 of each creature lands, some basics. I've gone for 3 of each of the legendaries because they're both really good in this deck. Might come back and bite me in the ass because they are legendary, and then might just trim them down to 2 each, but so far it's been working okay. And then some dual lands, and I've managed to sneak in a couple copies of Field of Ruin, of course. And that's the deck. The win con is clear. There's many avenues to it. We've got Hidetsugu, we've got Valki slash Tybalt, we've got dragons, we've got mascot exhibitions in the side. Plenty of ways of killing the opponent. So let's jump into some games, some 500 subs games. Won't do any self-promotion today. I'm feeling very, very good. Straight up into some ranked matches. A little sip of water. Next milestone, 1,000 subs. I know we'll get there. I'm full confidence. The quality is only going up. I've had some really good feedback about the new logo intro thing. Ooh. Bankbuster. Now, is this going to be just goblins or is it some kind of Boros? Okay. Just goblins. East. It's like a neutral exchange, but we need to get rid of those things. The best is Meathook Massacre against the Charger. The opponent seems to be bricking very nicely. I'm gonna go for red. Getting a bit of life. Draw a card. Okay. At least the opponent is bricking completely. Double frostbite. Can you believe it? Beautiful. There's my Meathook. Oh, at least that's a lot of things gone. Play Valki? Nothing, huh? Just more spells. Cannot lose to this. It's not possible. Nope. Okay, let's just make a bunch of life. 3, 6. What? Oh, sorry, 5. Because 1 is you have to pay. Back up to 12. What a waste. Come on, Meathook. Ah. Okay, well now we've got Valki gold. I mean Valki mana. I think we're gonna stabilize. One more red so we can cast the Invoke. Now this thing can go face for 5 eventually. Who am I kidding? There you are. Better late than never. Opponent's holding priority for some reason. Really wants to shock my pilot. Hello. Ah, the salty rope. I always get that little bit of worry that it's my end, but it's definitely the opponent either having some internet problems or just being salty. So I'm going to be buying the giveaway prizes off of Grey Viking Games. You guys will just get a code in your email with that you can redeem in the store. I'll make sure it's all Kamigawa packs. I'm not about to give up on more rank. I've hurt it enough as it is. Testing jank today, down to 93%. He's back. Nice. Maybe he fully just had a disconnect and now he's back. Don't think he was roping. Ooh. El Goblino. Don't you know I can crew, man? Okay. Now we're looking really freaking smoking good. Make no mistake. In case he gets a Den of the Bugbear. Oh baby. Now we're talking. Don't want to take any risks. We can... Okay, 3. Imagine he's got another one. I'll lose my mind. Okay. We need to gain life. How can we gain life? Like now. I'm gonna go fetch the second copy of oh goodness, Environmental Sciences. Whew. Okay, so then we go like this. Whew. No dragons, because they're free. Well, they still come, but they're cost 0. Mascot. Let's no. It's a terrible idea. I was so worried he had a second Royal Eruption in hand there for a second. Game 1 goes to the janky Rakdos Brew. On to the next one. Wow. This client is so clunky. I have like a 9th gen i7 with 32 gigs of RAM, and it's just, and the game is installed on my SSD, and it's just clunky, man. That's all I can say. Okay, game 1, a bit of like a cheat. Goblins is not great. I'm really hoping to prey upon some creature decks. Boros Floyd. Is he going to be playing Boros? I see Bankbuster, I keep. Could be Naya humans. Naya aggro or whatever. Or it could just be the Selesnya enchantments. With the sleeves, probably Selesnya. Yeah. It's great. Bye-bye. Off you go. Never to be returned with its recursive ability. Exiled. This is not a very good matchup, unfortunately. We have no enchantment removal, so I'm kind of dreading this. I was hoping not to have to face this on the celebratory video. That's the wrong land. Sorry. They don't have much card draw other than the little dog. I should probably play a few copies of what's it called? Feed the Swarm or something. No lands, eh? Kind of stuff that drives me bonkers. Oh. This is the kind of stuff that loses you the game. Stuck on 3 is just painful, painful, painful. That's a problem. Let's just concede. Mana screwed. On to the next one. I want to fit in more games. I don't want to bore you guys with just the defeat after the next. When you get stuck on 3 lands like that, on the worst possible matchup for your deck, it's just, you might as well move on to the next match. Any day now, any day now. Ba, 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 ba. French top deck. I've actually played this guy back in the day. Well, back in the day, end of last season. Quite a bit. I wonder what he switched to. He was playing Orzhov, I believe. What you got? Let's have a look. I'll take that. Cute. The same deck again. It's tough right now, guys. Okay, so there's no artifacts. There is a path to victory. Yes. 3/3s, huh? Zap. Thank you very much. That's just fantastic. We can take his haunting. Let's do another beautiful and then what I'm gonna do is zap. And then I'm gonna go zap. Thank you. I'll take that. Oh, mate. That has got to be the sweetest thing ever. I'll just exile that. If at all possible. Okay, what are we doing here? Two, 6. Let's just do a 6 mana. Bye-bye. Yes, baby. That's the way. That's the way you beat Selesnya enchantments, my dear friends. With your janky homebrews. Man, that felt so good. Okay, 2 victories on the ladder. On to the 3rd match. This is turning out to be quite the celebratory video. Maybe the shuffler is just giving me a good couple of draws, because it can sense that I've ascended to the 500 subscriber echelon. I've just done a little bit of research. The community tab will be unlocked within about a week. I need to wait a week and then YouTube will unlock it for me. Can't wait. On to the next match. How are we doing for time? Okay. Perfect. Hopefully we can get nice 2 matches in. Dabs. Ooh. Nice. What's it? Azorius, not Hullbreaker Horror. Please. Anything but Hullbreaker Horror. Ah, man, I hate that card so much. And it's almost certainly it, unless it's like the vehicles with Tezzeret. Or it could be Esper. There's like Esper mid-range. Okay. Not about to play my Hellkites into counterspell. This is going to be a tough match, guys. A tough match. I told myself I would concede when I saw this kind of stuff. But Let's just try. Okay. Enchantments. Not your typical Azorius thing. Means he still has the... Okay, no, that wasn't a counter spell. We ascertained that. There was no pause when I cast the Bankbuster last turn. Let's go for red. Maybe Fateful Absence or something. Yeah. Cool, we get to draw a card. What are you gonna discard? Nothing. Okay, well, you've got nothing to bring back. But you could have discarded something to bring back, I guess. But, that's a pretty good sign. I have a very bad feeling that this is definitely a Hullbreaker deck. Real charming fellow. That's, you better have something. Even just casting it makes the guy. That won't do it. That will. Ah, my God. Zap. And I'll put down the Sokenzan. Oh, no, cancel. Sorry, wrong card. So I can draw a card with the clue, or maybe use Abrade on something. Come on. Okay. Please no Hullbreaker. Please no Hullbreaker. Please no Hullbreaker. Anything but a Hullbreaker. Come on. Oh, come on. We win. Yes. Whew. Okay. Not yet. Man. Ooh. Whew. If I could somehow get rid of these two guys. I would, please. Ugh. Not the Hullbreaker. Anything but the Hullbreaker. Okay.
Now you've done it. That's coming off. Let your blade do the talking.
Whew. We got him. Hallelujah. Woo! The Hullbreaker gamer got Hullbreakered. Unbelievable. Oh wait, he still dies. Meathook Massacre. Okay, that's 3 straight victories on the ladder, facing some of the best brews. We've arrived at the 45-minute mark, and that is going to be it for this video. So let's jump straight back into the deck and see if I have any final thoughts on the matter. We definitely got to see the thing go off, so I don't feel like there are any aspects of the deck that I did not get to illustrate and you know, showcase to you guys. So that's why I'm not going to jump into another match and break the streak. Ending it on a win always makes me happy. If anything, I might just take out that Hidetsugu guy and just put in like maybe another one of these soul transfers or something. But I did want to just test it out. As you saw, like it kind of did absolutely nothing, and then the one time it actually exiled our graveyard when there was some stuff in there that I might have wanted to fetch back. So probably not the best fit in the brew. I'm just gonna... yeah, I'm just gonna cut it. I'm thinking if I want to do soul transfer or if there's anything else. You know what? There's that new card. Just to give us a little bit more artifact and enchantment stuff. Debt to the Kami. 1 copy. There we go. And that's the brew. Thank you all so much for watching. And I will see you all tomorrow for some fresh brews. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until then, this is Lone Fox from the BrewLab, signing out. Peace, y'all.